Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Deb Sofield, and you're listening to my weekly podcast series called Encouragement for Your Life. Many of you know I'm a national speaker, trainer, and as a coach, I help people find their voice and learn to use it. I'm also a conference speaker on the topics of public speaking, presentation skills, how to deal with the media, and crisis communication. Many of my other presentations can be found on my website. If your organization has an upcoming national conference and you sit on the committee to pick speakers, I hope you'll put my name in the hat. I would love to be a part. Your team can find me at debsofield.com. I've got a number of books on the market. My best-selling book, Speak Without Fear, my latest book, Perfecting Your Platform, are both on Amazon and Audible. My series, Encouragement for Your Life, which is a compilation of these podcasts, they're available on Amazon. Just go to Amazon, type in my name, Deb Sofield, and all my books will appear. I've got a fun theme today. I was dealing with a client, and one day she said, Deb, don't be a clapper. I said, a what? She said, a clapper. All right, I'm Deb Sofield. Thanks for spending these next few minutes with me. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. Have to admit, I was in an interview session and I asked my client what was the best advice she ever received. And she said, hey, Deb, don't be a clapper. What? What does that mean? And she said that all her life, her parents had told her to never stand on the sidelines of life, but to jump into whatever opportunity came her way so she wouldn't be one of the crowd, the audience, or those in the stands, enjoying the action, but never participating in the thrilling excitement of the game, the sweat and tears of the action. She said those on the sideline, she called those people the clappers. And who wants to be a clapper when you could be one on the receiving end of the applause? She told me her family believed that she was destined for something great, something more in life than just being, a clapper. I love that thought because we all know people who just stand around and watch the world go by instead of getting into the middle of the action to be a part of the game, the outcome, or the solution. No doubt we all love to hear the clapping approval of the crowd and their uproarious applause. But friend, let me remind you, that approval usually happens when you're part of the action and not just when you're in the stands. I know you've heard this advice about getting into the game a lot in your life, and I don't want to belabor the point, so let me turn it around and ask why you're not putting yourself out there to be in the game. Why are you choosing to be a clapper? I'm guessing it comes down to fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of the what-ifs, or perhaps fear of the unexpected. I'm going to take a wild guess and suggest that fear is what's holding most people back because it's a whole lot easier to stay out of the action and simply clap along with encouragement than it is by getting into the middle and working for the win. You and I know that when you're in the crowd clapping for others, it gives you a sense of belonging, being connected to others, and even a sense of security when you're huddled with the masses of humanity, clapping along from the outside, watching others give it their all. It's much like a mirror, or so we think. If they can do it, we can do it. Seems easy until you've got to do something like run up and down the field, stand on a stage, or get into the ring. So many people imagine themselves doing those daring and glorious things, but it's a false sense since there is not the reality of the situation. And it's only in their mind, the image of the glory to run and sing and stand before the adoring crowd. The difference between the clapper and the others is that only one is making something happen. And the other one's watching what happens while happily clapping along. Now, there's a theory that encourages people to imagine themselves in the midst of the action, with the hopes that one day they might make the action happen since they have seen it in their mind's eye, and then realize there's nothing to be afraid of. Hey, I am all for whatever it would take to move you from the clapping section to the action seating. So, if seeing it in your mind's eye is a key to success, friend, keep up your imagination and dream in color. I have a few friends who tell me that they are not called to do anything that would bring attention to themselves. They love the idea of keeping their humility in check because it is, they assume, proper. Or they don't want to be showy. Or some might go as far to convince themselves that it is saintly to be in the background. All right, no judgment from me if that's how you want to live your life. But would you consider that you're not contributing much with that mindset of always putting yourself in the stands instead of being a contributing part of the team? No doubt every player on the team or singer on the stage dreams of the stands filled with supporters to be enthusiastically clapping encouragement they need for success. And while that is an important part of the plan, remember, it doesn't always need to be you clapping for others. Hey, occasionally we'd like to see you shine. Without a doubt, we've become a nation of amateur show-offs. Turn on any social media channel and someone is singing their heart out, dancing up a storm, or even showing you how to make a cake, put on makeup, tune up your car, and a billion other options. Some of these self-marketers are pretty good. I like those videos. Others feel good about themselves. I don't like those videos. And still others, well, to put it nicely, they're trying. So I give them credit for at least doing something. I'll give a slow clap for their audacity, for their pluck, and for their energy and dreams and imaginings to make sure the show goes on. You know what I really admire about those who are trying? I like that they allow the energy of what they want to share with us to come through, whether I like how it sounds or not, because it's not about me. It's about them finding their way to their place on the field or stand on the stage in the bright, hot spotlight for all to see and cheer and clap in appreciation. Maybe by now you're thinking you'll just stay a clapper for life because you feel you've got little or nothing to offer due to your age or education or simply exhaustion. Well, I beg to differ with you, my friend. You still have much to offer if you step out of the stands and onto the field and let the warmth of the sun and energy of the applauding audience fill you with the power to play the game. Please hear me. I'm not against all clappers. They play a part in the grand scheme of appreciation. But I'm not a fan of a clapper who hides behind the fear of the spotlight of hard work and leadership because they choose to be weak. Yes, weak. I'm also fully aware that if everyone was on stage, then who would be left to clap, showing approval? I think we can all agree that being on a team means that sometimes we switch roles from stage to clapping or clapping to the stage. This helps us understand the position and the responsibilities of others. I sincerely believe that most people, at some point in their life, hope and dream and wish to hear the clap of approval from their family, their friends, or the crowd because they did something good, or at least something good for them that they're proud of. Most people have been to enough events to know that feeling of that tingle of joy in their soul from the excitement of the day. Applause is like a benediction of a job well done. There's always a place for applause or clappers. But never let that self-satisfaction keep you away from doing the work that is due so that you are fairly rewarded. Now, friend, if you're lucky to have heard the approval of applause in your life, and you are blessed to have been a part of something good, honorable, and brave, congratulations. And if by chance you haven't heard the clapping sound of approval by others when you've done great things, don't be discouraged. Consider the possibility that you be the clapping noisemaker for those who need to hear the sound of applause for their achievements, both large and small. Because at the end of the day, caring for those who do good work and give to others, allowing them to shine, is really the best lifelong gift we can give. And I'm pretty sure we can all clap for that. I know, a little bit different of a show today, but I love that idea. And I am so proud of my client for heeding her parents' advice. Don't be a clapper. Stop standing on the sideline when you were made for more. All right, friends, I'm Deb Sofield. You've been listening to Deb Sofield's encouragement for your amazing rock star life. And I hope you'll join me next week so we can continue the journey together as we work towards a better day. And just remember, I don't care what the world says about you. I want you to know that I care about you. And I care because I believe you can do big things, either leading the applause to let the light shine on others or accepting the applause of the light shining on you. Either way, I'm going to walk alongside you as we follow that dream together. All right, have a good one, everybody. Take care.
Thank you.